Pranam, Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. So happy to be with you all on this special day, Gurudev's birthday. Let us start with a small prayer. Please close your eyes. This is a Shanti mantra, Sahana Bhavatu. So if you know it, please join me. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May God protect us all. May God nourish us all. May we work together with energy and vigor, and may our study be enlightening without causing any dispute or discord. I bow to my Gurudev, Paramahamsa Hariharananda ji. Bow to my Guruji, Paramahamsa Prajnananda ji. Bow to Parama Gurudev, Yogananda ji. Bow to the entire lineage of Kriya Yoga masters. Bow to saints and sages of all times, of all places. Bow to Almighty God. And I bow to all of you. Welcome to this satsanga. My name is Suresh Kodolikar. Neva and I, my wife and I, we live here in Millsboro, Delaware, which is a small state, the first state in the United States of America. I was initiated by Paramahamsa Hariharananda ji in 1975 in New York. My coming into Kriya Yoga, I say, is a gift from my wife, Neva, because her 5 generations have been practicing Kriya Yoga. Her grandfather used to meditate with Sri Yukteswarji in the beginning and with Baba Hariharananda ji in Kararashram. So that is why I said that my association with Kriya Yoga is a gift from Neva and her family. So thank you very much, family. Now, during this talk, I will be referring to Baba Hariharananda ji as maybe just Baba, Gurudev, Paramahamsa Hariharananda ji. All these are endearing and respected terms. Now, the title of this satsanga, of this theme, of this seminar is Cultivating Divine Love. So I thought, what better way is there than talk about one who is the personification of that divine love, Paramahamsa Hariharananda ji. So what I'm going to try to do is talk about stories of Hariharananda ji in my association with him from I took initiation in 1975, but I had visited and seen Baba in Kararashram in 1974. So since then until 2002, off and on because of his travels, many stories come to mind. See, we lived in 5 different houses and Gurudev visited all those 5 houses. The last house that he visited was 1991. It was in Ellicott City, Maryland. Still remember the first, when Baba came there, it was a new house. So Baba came. Baba first walked the upper floor, complete upper floor, then came down to the main floor. He walked the whole floor, blessing every nook and corner, sanctifying everything. Then he looked at me and he said, "Finished?" I said, "Baba, there is a basement." So Baba said, "Show me." Showed him the stairs. He went down. I was following him. So he was walking there, and at one point he just stopped. stopped for a minute, maybe fraction of a minute, and then started to walk again. I was a little puzzled. When Baba came back up, I asked Baba, is everything okay? Baba said, now it is okay. There was some bad spirit, bad energy in the basement. It is all gone. How blessed we are. This realized master, just by his walk, just stopping at the place for a fraction of a second and being able to remove the bad energy, sanctify the entire house. He also said that if you move to another house, take my photo, keep your attention at the top of the head, and walk the whole house. If there is bad energy, it will be removed. The whole house will be sanctified. Which is exactly what we did in this house in Millsboro, since Baba had not visited this house. That's why we feel blessed, we feel protected in this house. Baba Hariharananda ji came to our first house, which was in Silver Spring, Maryland. That was in 1979. See, our older girl, Niyata, she was 4 years old. And when she was born, the hospital, during the time of discharge, they gave us a package and there were baby pictures in that. So we thought the same thing was going to happen when the second daughter, Samatha, would be born. She was born in 1979, just before Baba arrived in that house. So when Niva was discharged, we looked at that package and there were no baby pictures. We felt so sad. There are no baby pictures of Samatha. Niyata, we have these baby pictures. But we were getting ready for Baba's coming to our house for the visit. So we got busy in those preparations. Surely Baba came within the first week of Samatha's arrival in this world. Baba came, we bowed to him. Baba looked at the baby, but he went straight to the kitchen. He washed his hands with soap and water, dried his hands, then came into the living room. He says, give me the baby. He was holding the baby like he was doing it every day of the year, blessing her. And then he looked up and he said, camera, photo. Immediately we took picture of Samatha with Baba. How blessed that girl is. The baby picture was not, the first picture was not supposed to be taken in the hospital, but in the lap of our Gurudev. So fortunate, so loving. Both our girls, they grew up with Baba. They spent major part of their childhood with Baba. And they say that the world may see Baba as the master, but we see him as our loving grandfather. Speaks volumes about Baba's personality. It was probably in the mid-80s when Baba Hariharananda ji, he was doing the initiation program in New York, in Manhattan. It was in Felix Baba's house. Being with Baba was learning every moment, with every move, with every word, with every action. So when we went to New York to attend Gurudev's initiation ceremony, usual Friday evening lecture, so we went, attended that lecture. It was Niva, myself, and both the girls. We came back and we spent 2 nights in Felix Baba's house. We slept in the living room, all comfortably. And then in the morning, Saturday morning was initiation, so we got up and helped him with the initiation preparations. The girls, as they do, little girls, they were sleeping. They would not get up. I called them 2-3 times. And it was coming very close to the initiation time. So I got a little nervous, little agitated. And I said, come on, girls, how many times do I have to call you? Get up. Initiation is going to start. No movement. Then I heard Baba coming from his room. Very gently he came. He just laid down between the two girls. Then he puts his arms under their head. And then he getting up slightly, he said, wake up with joy, wake up with joy, wake up with joy. Girls got up giggling. Baba went back to his room. On the way back, I got a side glance from him and a chuckle, as if he was saying, this is how it is done, Daddy. Thank you, Baba. So that was the first story in Girls in New York. Baba's personality had many divine facets. And those facets, I will try to relate some stories to those facets. Baba used to say that Kriya Yoga gives you tact and ready wit. Tact and ready wit. Couple of stories I have. In Washington, D.C., we were arranging Baba's green card. So the interview later came. Baba went to the immigration office for an interview. As soon as he went in front of the immigration officer, he said, why do all Indian monks come to America? Baba did not lose a fraction of a moment. He said, because all Americans cannot go to India. That's the tact and ready wit. Once I was driving Baba to the Friday evening lecture. I was a little late coming back from work. And then we got into the car. I started to drive. So Baba was asking me, so what did you do in the office today? See, I'm an architect. And that day I was working on keying schedule. When the building is almost finished, we get together with the developer and the contractor and the hardware consultant and work out a keying schedule. So Baba looked at me and says, what is that? So I did not know whether I would be able to explain it to Gurudev, but I said, Baba, there are keys which fit, separate key for each door. Then there are keys like sub-master keys, sub-master keys, and ultimately master key. Baba said, what is that? I said, Baba, sub-master keys, they would open the doors in a particular wing or a particular department. Then sub-master key, maybe it would open the doors in the entire wing or the entire floor. And master key is the one that will open all the doors. I did not know whether I had answered Baba's question. But when we went to the lecture, Baba starts to talk about Kriya Yoga, and he says, Kriya Yoga is a master key of all the religions. Think about wit, tact and ready wit. So that's how Baba was. Baba's, along with tact and ready wit, Baba was a strict disciplinarian. High moral conduct in the ashram was the highest priority. We had a teacher who had come, who was responsible for bringing Baba from India to North and South America. Very dynamic teacher. Kriyavans in Washington area loved him, adored him. Came in 75, and then since then he came several times to Washington area. People used to get glued to him. He was so motivating that he motivated Kriyavans there to buy a building and turn it into ashram and give it to Gurudev. 1977 is when Gurudev came the next time. 76, he did not come. Within those 2 years, he had also motivated Kriyavans to get the ashram registered as a non-profit organization. So this was the first ashram in the United States with the status of non-profit organization and functioning as full ashram. Unfortunately, the building had to be raised because it came into the interstate right of way. But this teacher, even though he was capable of doing all these good things for Baba and for the ashram, his behavior did not measure up to Baba's strict standards. So Baba had the task of disciplining him. And it is amazing how wonderfully he did that with love, compassion, at the same time, strict measures. He asked him to go into seclusion, correct himself, and come back to the organization. Unfortunately, the teacher never came back, and many of the Kriyavans at that time, they left Kriya Yoga because of this teacher. But Baba had no compromise in that situation. He said, discipline is discipline, moral values are moral values. In the ashram, you have to follow them. Now, this strict disciplinarian had the pure heart of a child, filled with innocence, simplicity. When we moved into this house in Ellicott City, Maryland, I went to the airport. That was Baba's first visit. Baba came. I brought him home. As I was driving, turned into our driveway. Driveway was little long, so I pushed the remote to open the garage door. The garage door was opening. Baba was looking straight. He looked at the garage door opening. He turned to me and he said, I knew what Baba was asking. I stopped the car in the driveway. I showed the remote. I said, Baba, this is the remote. So Baba looks at it and he says, no wires? I said, no, Baba, no wires. He looks at me and he says, oof, you have defeated God. Such a simple thing. But for him, this was unconventional, and he saw beauty in that simplicity. Giggling. Baba was also a healer and a savior. Gurudev did not like to interfere with Kriyavan's karma. He let them work that out, unless it was a question of life and death. Then Gurudev intervened in that. Stories like this. She's still there, a beautiful disciple. Her name is Tarama. We used to call her Tarama. She belonged to a band called Starland Vocal Band. This was in the 70s. And they had a record, very famous record, which got them Grammy. It's called Afternoon Delight. Some of you might have heard it or might know about it. She was the lead singer in that group. The reason that in spite of all this fame, in spite of all this exposure to all the other people, in spite of coming in front of thousands of people to perform, her love and devotion to Gurudev was unmatched. She expected nothing from Gurudev except for blessings. All she wanted to do was go sit in his room, and the door was open for her anytime. As a matter of fact, door to Baba's room was always open. It was never closed, never locked. Even at night, he would leave it slightly open. So she would just sit there. She had no other desire. She just wanted to sit there, watch her Baba. Baba used to go about, do his work. And then she would sit, meditate sometime, just look at Baba. She was content in doing that. Used to do that quite often, even in her busy schedule. Baba was in New York. Tarama had to go see him in New York. She was pregnant at that time and pretty advanced in her pregnancy. But she went to New York, sat in Baba's room. She did that 2-3 times, and Baba used to ask her, Mother, why don't you go home, lie down and rest? It is not good for you in these days. She would not listen. She would just sit there, look at Baba. She would meditate. She would sit there, nothing else. So one day she came, normal thing. She went into the room and sat there on the floor, leaning against the wall. Baba saw a trace of pain in her face. Immediately Baba got up, went up to her, put his hands under her stomach, supported her stomach, and then he told her, "Mother, you go back home and rest." This time she followed because she knew what intense pain she was in. Just the simple act of Baba lifting the baby had removed the pain completely. She went home, rested. Next day, Baba was telling us, Tarama almost lost the baby. I took the pain from her, so much pain, I had to lie down. Such a loving master, such a selfless master. Tarama gave birth to a beautiful boy. Ben is his name. He's a Kriya one. And like his parents, he's also a musician. These are Baba's blessing. Even now, she meditates. She got her husband into doing meditation, got him initiated through Paramahamsa Prajnanandaji. That devotion over the years. Beautiful, beautiful story about her. Many stories like that, but one of our family members from Niva's side, she had a hard time conceiving a child. Baba was very close to that family, the entire family. So he gave her a mantra and he said, "Mother, you please chant this mantra regularly, daily." Baba knew what she was doing, even though Baba was not in the house. Once he came to their house and he asked her, "Mother, why are you not doing the mantra?" She said, "Baba, I will do it. I will do it." Oof, I have to chant the mantra for you. This loving master, he knew when the disciples are following his instructions or not. He chanted the mantra for her. She conceived, gave birth to a beautiful girl, and Baba even got her married. There was a devoted mother in New Delhi, Shanti Ma. We had a chance to meet with her in those old days. Very devoted. She had lot of money problems. So Baba found out. Baba asked her, "Chant this mantra, please, mother," and she did regularly, religiously, with total faith on Gurudev. And she got a lot of money. She got money enough to take care of her money issues. All the problems were solved, so she goes back to Baba. And she says, "Gurudev, please take back this mantra." Baba said, "Why?" "Because all my money problems are solved. If I keep the mantra, I may be greedy. I may get the money that I don't really need." What a beautiful disciple. This is the guru-disciple relationship. Baba was like a loving mother to all the disciples. That relationship, guru-disciple relationship, had the tenderness and love that only mother can give to the child. From another viewpoint, Gurudev was a Stithaprajna. Stithaprajna is described in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a scripture that is revered all over the world. It has been translated into more than 75 different languages. Most of the people know about Bhagavad Gita. Many people have given commentaries on that, lectures, writings. My intention is not to get into the details of Bhagavad Gita. My intention is only point out those stanzas which relate to Gurudev's personality and show the description that Lord Krishna has given of Stithaprajna, how it applies to Gurudev. Second chapter is where Lord Krishna talks about Stithaprajna. Second chapter is a beautiful chapter. In the second chapter, Lord Krishna, he has explained Sankhya Yoga, the point he was making was Arjuna was dejected. He had thrown down his weapon and he had surrendered to Krishna, and he said that I will not fight. So Lord Krishna was convincing him that this intellect that you're depending on has given you this thought is wrong. You need to fight. And he convinced him on Sankhya Yoga, and then he was coming to Karma Yoga. So in this beautiful second chapter, Lord Krishna talks about Sankhya Yoga, which is Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Vairagya Yoga. All these four beautiful yogas in this one chapter. Several commentators have said that the essence of Bhagavad Gita is in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the second chapter. The second chapter of Bhagavad Gita also has various gems spread throughout it. Beautiful definitions of yoga. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Skill in action is yoga. Samatvam yoga muchyate. Balance in happiness and sorrow is yoga. The very famous, one of the very famous stanzas describing karma yoga, karmanne vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, is in this second chapter, and many more gems like this. So in this second chapter, before we go to Stithaprajna, there are two stanzas, stanza 39 and 40. I just want to point them out to you because most of you are Kriyavans, and I know at least all of you are connected with meditation one way or the other. So Lord Krishna's discourse in these two stanzas would be very helpful to us. So in stanza 39, and I'm going to read the meaning of this. This has been explained to you from the point of view of Sankhya Yoga. Now listen to it from the point of view of Karma Yoga. Practicing this yoga, you will be able to set yourself free from the shackles of karma. What a promise! What an assurance! You will be set free from the shackles of karma. Those who are practicing Kriya Yoga, they know the definition of Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga, as Sage Patanjali has said, and many times it has come up in this seminar, Tapaha Swadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani Kriya Yoga. So what is Kriya Yoga? Tapaha, which is Karma Yoga, Swadhyaya, Swadhyayana, Jnana Yoga, and Ishvara Pranidhana, Bhakti Yoga. Combination of these three yogas is Kriya Yoga. And just 1/3 of this Kriya Yoga, which is Karma Yoga, has the potential to set you free from the shackles of karma. Can you imagine the integrated practice of Kriya Yoga, combining these three yogas, where it would lead human being to? I'm not saying it is easy. I'm saying the path is not very simple. One needs to work hard at it. One needs to work with devotion for a duration of time, and then the promise that Lord Krishna has made will happen. In the verse 40, I'm reading the meaning. In the practice of this yoga, no effort is lost, nor there any negative result. Even a little practice of this yoga will protect you from the great fear. Three assurances that Lord Krishna has given. You practice this yoga, and there is no effort lost. You will not do anything wrong in this practice. It will not give you any contrary result or negative result. And just a little practice of this yoga will set you free from the great fear in life. Very applicable in these days because of this pandemic. Fear of death is the most common thing that people have on their mind. Whether I will contact this disease, whether I will die from it. Practicing Kriya Yoga, practicing Karma Yoga will help you overcome that fear. So there are 4 assurances that Lord Krishna has given. 4 assurances are: practice of this yoga will release you from the shackles of karma. How? Karma yoga is yoga. Practice of this yoga means action without expecting any fruits. If we practice this yoga and we do not expect any fruits, then we do not accumulate any karma. Truly, it is as simple as that. But we keep practicing it with total devotion, then we have the potential not to collect any karma. Birth after birth, we collect karma. Based on that, we decide to take the birth, to wipe out the bad karmas. In the process of that, we create some more karmas through Kriyamana karma. So Lord Krishna is saying that you practice this yoga, you will stop accumulating karma. That is how you will be free from the shackles of karma. Means you do not need to be born again. It is that huge. If you do not need to be born again, that means this is your emancipation. This is your liberation. All our Kriya Yoga masters, they have attained this liberation, this realization in one lifetime with the practice of this powerful yoga. So that is a huge promise. Secondly, there will be no wasted effort. A lot of times in the practice of Kriya Yoga or practice of any form of yoga, life happens, as they say. Sometimes we have undergo surgery, we are not able to practice this Kriya Yoga meditation in full. Sometimes some sickness comes and we are removed from the practice for a period of time, especially in case of mother during pregnancy and childbirth. They are not able to practice the full Kriya Yoga meditation for a long period of time. Then the question comes in the mind, because of this long gap, have I lost everything that I've accumulated? Lord Krishna says, no. Nothing is lost. No effort is lost in this yoga. Next assurance is there will be no negative result from the practice of this yoga. Again, that thought comes to us in the practice of yoga, in practice of Kriya Yoga or any other form of yoga that you're practicing. You say, did I do it wrong? Did I miss the sequence? Is that going to create some bad effect on me? There is an assurance from Lord Krishna. No bad effect will come from the practice of this yoga. So this is very assuring on this path of Kriya Yoga or on the path of Karma Yoga, that you practice this and nothing bad is going to happen. No effort is lost. There is a potential for me to be freed from karma. And then the last promise that he has, a little practice of this will set you free from the great fear in life. So if you want to study more, and I would encourage you to do that, please read these 2 stanzas with Gurudev's commentary. Now we come to Stithaprajna. Stithaprajna, Lord Krishna starts to explain what Stithaprajna is based on what Arjuna asked him. Arjuna's question, that is in stanza 54. Stithaprajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sitabi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. 4 questions Arjuna is asking to Krishna. What are the marks of Stithaprajna who is anchored in Samadhi? How does he speak? How does he sit? How does he move? 4 questions, and Lord Krishna answers them in 4 different stanzas. First question, what are the marks of Stithaprajna? So Lord Krishna is answering that in stanza 55. And I'm just going to read the meaning of that, it is said that all cravings, all desires have completely vanished. And the one who is content in the joy of the self or the joy of the soul is Stithaprajna. Beautiful definition of Stithaprajna. All cravings, all desires are gone. Baba Hariharananda ji had no desires for himself. He had no mundane desires. I've seen once a disciple gave a gold biscuit to Baba, very valuable at that time. Baba looked at it, he blessed the disciple, kept that gold biscuit, and after several days, several months maybe, he gave that biscuit to another disciple who needed that. Baba had no use for these. He had no mundane desires, so no use of these kind of gifts. When we say Baba had no desire, let us try to understand desires. All the cravings, all the desires are gone. Desires, there are some desires that are essential for our living, like desire to eat, to maintain this body. Similarly, desire to drink water, desire to drink liquid, desire to, there are good desires like desire to meditate, desire to be in good company, sadhu sangha, desire to attain God realization, attain liberation. These are all good desires. So we do not need to be free from these desires, but there are bad desires. Desires that are attached. Our sense organs are attached to the object of senses. And the excessive amount of that desire, these are bad desires. What does that mean? I have enough money, but I'm not happy with that. I want to earn money at any cost. It's a bad desire. I need to eat to sustain this body. Good desire. But I need because I like something and I would not stop. I will eat excessively. Bad desire. So these bad desires, they need to be varied. They are the hindrance. So that is why it is said that all those cravings, all those desires are gone. Now there are good desires and bad desires. We saw that, but all the desires have a structure of manifestation, have steps of manifesting. And in Sanskrit, they're called vasana, spruha, ichha, and trishna. Vasana means the feeling that comes based on likes and dislikes. See, likes and dislikes are in our genes, and we develop them based on the environment and culture. From our previous births, we have certain likes and dislikes. We inherit them, we bring them to this birth, and we use them. But based on those likes and dislikes, desires are born. When that desire is very subtle, it has not manifested, then that time it is called vasana. When it starts to take a shape, take certain shape, then it is called spruha. When it increases, the journey of this desire is increasing and it takes a full concrete shape saying that I want this, I need this. Then that is ichha. And then the excessive desire is trishna. When I say that I must have it, I want to have it at any cost, trishna. Now, a simple example of the journey of desire is, look, if you put a pot of milk on the stove, what happens? In the beginning, the stove is hot. The pot is getting hot. Maybe the bottom of the milk is getting warm. but there is no indication on the surface of the milk that this is going to come to a boil. That heat continues. So that stage, unmanifested stage, is vasana. When more heat is given, more heat is coming, the milk is getting warmer, and you start to see certain ripples on the surface, not fully manifesting, taking certain shape, spruha. We definitely see signs of milk boiling in the pot, icha. Desire has taken a full form here. Now, if you don't watch it, that milk is going to overboil. So that is trishna, out of control desire. So this is the journey of desire. Now let us see how Sri Krishna answered Arjuna's question about how does a Stithaprajna speak. Arjuna did not ask the question to understand how the lips move or what is the level of pitch. No, he had a deeper meaning to that question. He wanted to know what is the state of Stithaprajna, mental state of Stithaprajna, his being, which gives rise to his speech. So in that context, Lord Krishna is answering this question. Speech of Stithaprajna is always compassionate, loving, considerate, kind. We experienced that with Baba Hariharananda. When he came to our first house in Silver Spring, 1979, it was a modest house. On the main floor, we had 3 bedrooms, small kitchen, and a living room. And along with Gurudev, it was Neva, my wife, me, my 4-year-old, and the newborn, and my mother-in-law. Look, I loved my mother-in-law. I respected her. She was a gem of a person. It was such a blessing that she stayed with us for a few years. And both the girls learned from her presence. And she was a wonderful, wonderful presence in the house. Loved her. But we were all there with Gurudev. And you can imagine if there is only one bathroom, that bathroom was pretty busy. So I had a thought in my mind, just in the first couple of days, that how does Gurudev take a bath? Vasana was enough for Gurudev to detect what I was thinking about. Gurudev told me, Suresh Baba, I get up 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm taking my flashlight and I'm slowly opening the door, going into the bathroom, slowly closing the door, opening the water just a little water is coming. I'm taking my bath. This realized, Master, so that we won't be disturbed, our sleep won't be disturbed, newborn will not be disturbed. That's why he was taking all these precautions. How kind, how considerate, how compassionate. That is the behavior. That is the speech. Now, to come to the actual stanza where Lord Krishna answers that question, he says, the meaning of that stanza 56, one whose mind is unaffected by sorrow or happiness, who is untouched by attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage with steady wisdom. So sage, any sage who is endowed with this equanimity, that state of mind will automatically reflect in his speech, will it not? That is how Lord Krishna answered that question. Now his speech, we had a very enthusiastic person who came to help Baba, took initiation, and he said that he wants to help spread Gurudev's message to the world. Gurudev said yes. Nothing escapes Gurudev. So he saw that person's dark side. So he talked to him. He says, you have defects. the person realized what he was talking about. You need to correct your defects. He said, Baba, give me 6 months. Baba said, yes. In 6 months, you correct your defects and come back. When you come back correcting the defects, go to the authority and give confession. Admit to them what wrong you had done. But you must have corrected your defects. So he agreed. 6 months passed. He wanted an extension to 6 months. So he sent his friend to see Gurudev. Gurudev was in New York at that time. And he came, and other disciples, they knew about this person. So they did not allow his assistant to come up and talk with Gurudev. So he was angry. He was creating commotion. Somebody mentioned that to Baba upstairs, and Baba came down by himself. He talked to this person, told him that your friend gave me a promise to correct himself in 6 months. Ask him to correct himself. Please go back. He did. Baba came back up, resumed his work like nothing had happened. This was the speech. Nothing bothered him. How does the Stithaprajna sit? That was the next question. And the meaning of stanza 58, like the way tortoise withdraws its limbs from all sides, Stithaprajna withdraws his senses from the sense objects, then he gets established in wisdom. The way tortoise removes his limbs from all sides. Sense organs and the objects of senses, they have such tremendous attraction, like magnet and iron, very hard to disassociate them. But the way Lord Krishna explained that one who has conquered the desires, who is free from anger, attachment, fear, then once that preparation is done, then it is possible for a person to pull his sense organs from the objects of senses. So if we start to say that I'm going to pull my sense organs from the objects of senses, it's not going to happen that easily. It needs that preparation. It is a journey. So once that is done, then comes the next stage where the last question was, how does he walk? So Lord Krishna explains it. Now Stithaprajna is free to enjoy the sense objects through his senses. As the senses are free from the likes and dislikes, thus he attains complete tranquility of mind. So if we understand this total journey, freedom from desires, state of mind, which allow the speech tenderness comes up. And once that happens, one is able to pull away from the senses voluntarily without any resistance from the sense organs. Once that happens, then the person goes and mixes with other people and lives a normal life. It does not matter because he's free. The objects of senses do not attract him. So that is the way the person walks. He lives a normal life. That is Stithaprajna. Now let us go back quickly to the first thing that Arjuna asked. Arjuna asked, Stithaprajna se ka bhasha samadhista se keshava. So samadhista, one who is anchored in samadhi. Our Baba Hariharananda ji, he had reached Nirvikalpa Samadhi. I want to share a story with you about Baba's Nirvikalpa Samadhi that I had witnessed. There was, when Baba stayed with us for a period of time, he used to guide meditations in our basement. He conducted several public programs, initiations. A lot of people started to come and they used to attend meditation. And then once Gurudev was talking about breathlessness state is deathlessness state. So there was a physician there and his friend was a male nurse, both of them. It did not sit well with them. So the physician said, this is wrong according to the medical science. Gurudev did not want to argue with him. He said, come tomorrow. So Baba came upstairs. Baba took me aside. Baba said, Suresh Baba, I'm going to show my Nirvikalpa Samadhi state tomorrow. I didn't know why Baba was whispering. Later on, I found out that Baba was 72 years old at that time. Baba used to go into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, come out, do his normal duties. But because of this deep sadhana, prolonged period of sadhana, his blood pressure was low. And then his doctors had advised him that at this age, he should not go into Nirvikalpa Samadhi the way he used to go. And my mother-in-law knew that. Baba did not want my mother-in-law to hear that. So he was whispering me, giving the directions. He said that it is very simple. I will show them my Khechari Mudra first. My tongue, they will see that my tongue has disappeared. It has gone inside the throat. And then I will attain Nirvikalpa Samadhi. You can feel my pulse. There will be no pulse. And then you can ask everyone to feel my pulse. The doctor wants to check me. He mentioned that he wants to bring stethoscope and check me. Let it be. So I understood that the physician and the male nurse, they want to use stethoscope to check Baba's breathlessness state. So far, so good, simple, even though I had not witnessed Baba's Nirvikalpa Samadhi. He says, once everybody had checked, they have to go and sit and meditate. I did not understand that, the reason for that. Later on, I understood that the body is so pure at that time. Mind is so pure. Soul is liberated. But anybody touching that body could transfer his or her karma to that body. That is why it was important for people who would touch Baba's body or touching God, sit back and meditate. Then he said that you ask me questions about Kriya Yoga or spirituality, hold my right hand, shake it, and I will come back. Sounded pretty simple to me. So next day came, there were more people than usual. Baba guided a beautiful short meditation. After that, he attained Khechari Mudra. He opened his mouth, had a flashlight with him, showed that there is no visible tongue. And then everything was quiet. I saw Baba's head is got like this. That maybe that is the sign of Baba going into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So I checked his pulse. I was nervous, quite frankly. My heart was probably racing. I checked his pulse. There was no pulse. So I asked everyone one by one to check Baba's pulse. Everybody checked. The physician, his nurse, they checked with stethoscope. There was no pulse. They all sat, meditated. Then I asked Baba questions. I had prepared a list of 10 questions. When I asked Baba first question, second, third, fourth, fifth, there was no sign of movement. I went through all 10 questions. There was no answer from Baba. Then I started to lose it. Then my voice started to go up. Still there was no answer. I started to cry. I was crying, literally I was crying. Then everybody got nervous. I was screaming, I was saying, Baba, please don't leave. We want your help. I want your guidance for realization. Baba, please guide me. Please guide me. Please show me the way. No sign, no response. People were getting a little scared. By that time, the sound level had gone up so much. My mother-in-law up in the room, she was there with my wife and newborn and Niyata, the 4-year-old. She was very attached to Baba, and she used to come and sit in his lap anytime, pull on his beard anytime. So they used to keep her in that room. Mother-in-law, she thought things were not normal, so she opened the latch, came down. As soon as she saw that, she went back behind him, supported his neck. And when My mother-in-law had come down, my daughter. She came down. She came down the steps. There is like little landing and the 4 steps coming into the meditation room. She saw that her father was crying. Baba was like this. Her grandma was holding Baba. So she jumped those 4 steps, went straight to Baba's lap, puts her arms around Baba's neck, looked straight into his eyes, closed eyes, and said, Baba, are you angry? Maybe because her father was crying, she thought, are you angry? Baba slowly opened his eyes, looked at her. The faint smile on his face, I still remember. No, Niyatama, I'm not angry. Excuse me. This realized master, just because one disciple wanted to know or wanted to question the level of Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he had to go through that. We helped Baba go up to his room. We had to cancel 7 days of program that were prepared for Baba. It took 7 days for Baba to come back and resume his normal duties. I was still curious, what is it that I had failed to do? So I asked Baba, after Baba resumed his duties, Baba, did I do everything that you asked me to do? Baba's usual smile, and his head used to go like this. Suresh Baba, think about what you were asking. You wanted me to come back for your spiritual work. What did the little child want? She just wanted me to know whether I was okay. Baba said, that love will bring the soul from any corner of the cosmos. What a lesson. What a guru. I bow to my Baba. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I bow to all of you. God.